Hey, Mikey here for rating the songs on all the Beach Boys albums. For this episode, I'm rating the songs on Surfin USA. Again, my approach to rating these songs is mostly from the songwriter's point of view, emphasizing songs written or co-written by members of the Beach Boys, with production and performance following respectively in importance. Don't forget these songs were written in the early 60s for a teen or thereabouts audience. My ratings will be based on this. I automatically rate all the Beach Boys originals ahead of all the covers. That is why we bought into the albums of the Beach Boys. Didn't you buy them all? So, the Surfin USA album is quite full of filler. Filler in the sense that people wanted the Beach Boys vocals. But surf rock was popular at the time, and it's great to hear Carl stand out as a good guitar player. They didn't have much time to prepare an album's worth of material, so it is understandable that there weren't a lot of new Beach Boys songs. But how many albums of that day had arguably two great songs on it, and some other songs that weren't bad? There really isn't a bad cut on this record, unless you just dislike surf music or you have grown up. Remember, it's 1963. These guys were writing the book on making records for a young audience. It's hard to rank any of the cover instrumentals above others, covers being songs written by other people outside the band. They are all played pretty much equally well, so I'll start off with Honky Tonk. The original certainly has better playing, but the Beach Boys did a clever adaptation. Too bad Carl didn't get to play some of these hidden jewels later on at live shows, but I understand. Beyond the 60s, people wouldn't have had much patience with these surf songs. Surf rock is for surf rock people, and there's quite a surf rock community. I've had a great time going to see a full night of surf rock bands. I recommend it, but don't forget your earplugs if you can still hear treble. Next up, Let's Go Trippin'. It's well done from such young lads, but it isn't nearly as good a song as Miserlou. And yes, that's subjective. Of course, next is Miserlou. Tightly played, I wish I knew who was on drums. What a melody. You know, this song is from the 20s. There's even an Arabic belly dance version, which really works. I guess the Beach Boys thought it a good one to get the beach girls shaken. And now moving on to the Beach Boys written songs. First up, Finders Keepers. Just a hint of the Four Seasons. Hey, he got his board back from that hoeing ho daddy who seems to have bitten off a little more than he could chew. I thought it was quite nice of our protagonist to warn ho daddy with a meatball flag that he was a danger to himself on that 9-5. You know, that board probably cost quite a few 9-5s. Once again, a pretty well written song, but where did they come up with these ideas? Lana. Okay, a little weak on the writing, but the Beach Boys did end up with Silver and Gold, didn't they? It's filler, but what the heck, it's fun. Now we get up to Stoked. Gets kind of loose, but it is what it is. It sounds like filler now, but back in the 60s it would have worked well, along with all the other instrumentals. You could invite your friends over to listen to the album and had a great time. Play it for all your friends at a party and feel like you're cool. Besides, Brian wrote it, so that's cool. Even though my bet is Brian considered it filler. Then we get to Surf Jam. Impressively played by such young guys. It's tighter than Stoked for the most part, I guess, so it edges that one out. The guitars fall out of sync a little bit, but not for long. Now we get to Noble Surfer. This is a well-written song, even though He's Something You and I Would Like to Be sounds a little trite after a few Ain't Joshins. But the songwriting is complete and everyone knows who this guy is. Just be warned to gather up your gal and head home when he shows up. On Farmer's Daughter, the band sounds tight with DeVito probably on drums, but I can't find any verification of that. The vocals are also tight sounding, like they really put time in on this one. The lyrics are confusing at first look. Who's he talking to? Would the farmer's daughter really decide if the guy in the song could rest a couple of days at the shack? Well, you can infer anything you want on this song, but I'll just go with the songwriter finally thanking Mr. Brown for having a lovely daughter. About time he probably paid for her braces, you know. But the song begs the question, why didn't our writer ask for permanent employment? Now we arrive at the Lonely Sea. More than anything, this song is an indicator of what Brian was going to give us. While the lyrics are simplistic, they are effective. The vocal sound is a little loose on tuning, but the Beach Boys are getting there. The melody is strong and the mood shows that Brian was well on his way to being the producer of truly great songs. The sound is starting to really sound like the Beach Boys on just Brian's second try as producer. Even though the song isn't as tight as Farmer's Daughter, I rank it higher because I still haven't gotten over hearing Cassius Clay's falsetto on the other version of Farmer's Daughter. Shut Down, while a continuation of 409, is a cool song. A real drama, well written. A drag was the ultimate excitement, wasn't it? And they saved money on a sax player. It keeps the car thing with the Beach Boys alive, and while it fits in with this album, I'm surprised it was the sixth cut on the record. Seems like they should have started side 2 with this song, but they knew what they were doing. I imagine they got the girls listening with Lonely Sea and the boys listening with this song, Shut Down. To me, Surfin USA is obviously the best song on this album. So many of us longtime fans want to skip listening to the hits. I mean, how many times can you truly enjoy hearing even a great song like Surfin USA? But then we will probably admit it's still one of the great songs of the 60s and will be around forever. And it's the best song on the Surfin USA album. Thanks for listening. Next up, the Surfer Girl album. Please hit like and subscribe. See you next time.